Win OMI Moon. Now, I hear this over and over again. I hear this from amazing people in the VeVe community who are very excited for what VeVe is doing, but puzzled as to why OMI's token hasn't gone up. And pretty much feels like it's only gone down for 3 years. Now, for those new to investing cycles, this would naturally be puzzling, especially when seemingly valueless meme coins have taken off and you hear these stories about some that have done absolutely incredible, and it feels like your OMI bags are doing nothing but going down more, and that perhaps you should just sell them and go where the action is. Now, many people new in investing are going this route themselves, and I wish I could say that I didn't do the same thing my first 3 years in crypto, but I did. And I knew better because I wasn't new to investing. I had been investing for 18 years, yet I still had to do that myself. Now, was that the right thing to do? It rarely works out well doing that. Selling what's low to move to where the action is the opposite of what most smart investors do. If you happen to have some positions in where the action is, a much smarter move is people then take money out of where the action has been and move it into where it's not yet. Because remember, what has been going down for forever, at some point it reverses, and it reverses hard. So I often talk about the principle of recency bias, where we see that what's been happening and we assume that what's been happening is what's going to continue to happen. And this destroys people in investing over and over again. This is why people buy green candles and they sell the bottoms, is because of recency bias. So though it feels like OMI's done nothing but go down for 3 years, I think you'd be making a huge mistake at selling at these points. In fact, I just picked up another 35 million OMI myself. Now, today we're going to talk about all things OMI because it's our OMI is my homie show. Doctor of Stuff had some real life things come up and couldn't make it, but we were able to get a top-notch special guest to join us, which we're super excited about. And of course, my co-host, Randy Chavez. Randy, thank you so much for joining us.
Am I live? Am I here?
Yes, you are.
Oh, hi everyone. How's it going? It's the real Randy Chavez. It says I'm still backstage, so I don't. I can't see myself, but that's okay. We have a bunch of news to go over today, and with that, we'll cover everything from OMI to VeVe, stuff that David's saying, stuff that David has, or stuff that whales have been doing, different announcements, timelines for things, and more. So everyone, come ask us anything. How you doing today, Ray?
Fantastic. I'm excited that you reached out to our special guest today to join us. I love her input. She has, I think, really valuable insights. And so I'm glad she's able to join us. Oh, and we just lost Randy. Well, while Randy is reconnecting, let's go ahead and welcome our special guest to the stage. Queen VeVe, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Rain. You look so proper back there, giving your intro.
Oh boy, some people are like, I can't wait till I'm really experienced in this stuff. And it's like, I've been on the investment journey for 25 years. And unfortunately, I've effing made so many mistakes. And so that's why I make so many less mistakes, but I still make some mistakes. But I do think selling OMI at this point, and I know there's some people that are capitulating at this point, and I think they're really going to regret that decision. I'm getting really excited to buy more, especially at these prices. How are you feeling? Oh, by the way, Randy's back in. We lost you there for a second.
Randy, can you hear us? Can you see yourself?
I can hear and see you guys. Although it still has a little play symbol in the middle of my screen. Can y'all hear me though?
Yes, that part's coming through great.
I will ignore the play symbol then. I know it's been a while. Thank you, Lloyd, for coming by. Thank you for filling in. Time to fill in Doc's shoes. We have a bunch to go over today.
Shoes to fill. I don't know.
I guess the first thing I like to go over is we haven't heard much in a while about the VeVe Awards party that was supposed to take place in New York Comic Con. It still might. About a year ago, I collected all the number 41 VeVe logos. And then a few months later at New York Comic Con, they dropped the version 2 gold and silver logo. And it's like, okay, now my set is no longer complete. But yesterday I happened to get it, or 2 days ago, the number 41 gold logo version 2 was minted. I was able to strike a deal. I got that. So now we are in, I have that complete again. So hopefully I can still claim that prize. Have you guys heard anything on the party?
Heard nothing, but Doctor of Stuff and I have been working on something special for that party too. So I hope that comes together, because yeah.
Uh-oh. Did we
Is
lose
rain
Rain?
stuck for you too?
Rain's frozen. Frozen
Okay.
Rain. He's sleep. He's hell.
looks like we're all having internet problems today. I know today my internet's been spotty all day.
I think it has something to do with StreamYard, because we both got logged out today.
Yeah, and there's something with my internet. Last night the power just went off, and I haven't had the power just shut off here in forever. And I've got a backup generator that kicked on right away, but I was like, no, the power like went out to the whole house, and it's never done that in a year and a half I've been here. So I was like, the internet then has been shaky. I did 2 videos today. The internet was shaky in both of them.
So the party, not the logo party, not the VeVe party, but the VeVe NFT Awards party, it'll be sometime in New York Comic Con. We do have that timeline. One of the other things I guess we wanted to talk about today was certain timelines on things. OMI to NFT is going well, and we'll get to that in a minute. But one thing I wanted to talk about was the VeVeVerse timeline, and then also the Grand Theft Auto 6 timeline. Back in the day, Grand Theft Auto 5 had released in 2013. And then a year later, in 2014, they announced that Grand Theft Auto 6 was in development. Now, it's been about 10 years, and they did say that Grand Theft Auto 6 will launch in fall of 2025, provided that there's no more delays. But something similar happened when we had Kingdom Hearts 3. The most recent Kingdom Hearts game was launched in 2019. The game before that was launched in 2005. So for really big games, it takes not just years, but sometimes over a decade in order for that to come to fruition and be completed. How long are you guys willing to wait for VeVeVerse before you guys are just like, not give up hope, but be like, okay, it'll come when it comes, maybe in 2028? Or are they, I don't know if you guys are in the VeVeVerse beta, and it's like, no, it'll come, we just don't know when. How are you guys feeling about it?
Well, I feel like it'll come when it comes. I thought it would be here a little sooner, only because they said it was going to come sooner. And even when I said, please, David, don't say it's coming soon, he still went out and said, it'll be here in March, I promise. And that was March 2024. And I'm like, you just don't learn, do you? But I'm almost to the point now where it's been so long, it's starting to, it better be good, or better be connected with something bigger. There better be a good reason, Disneyverse, or something like that, for them to be holding it off. Because, you know, at this point, it's like, if it's just show and tell, have your own private room, you know, show people your trophy room or your different vault or whatever they have, even a house, it's starting to get a little bit past that point. And I'm just like, I'm just tired of waiting for that. But if there's more to it, then I'm going to give them a pass to 2028, if you know what I mean. Like that, that's how I'm feeling. But
you make a good point that like they functionally had something they could show us. Gosh, it was like a year and a half ago.
I was there.
And so a lot of what delays things is what they call scope creep, right? So it's just like they expanded the scope, and possibly like some kind of Disney partnership or some kind of other thing would massively expand the scope. And then all of a sudden the timelines not even being close would make sense if they expanded the scope a whole lot from what they were going to do, which was like an expanded VeVe showroom, to something much bigger. So hopefully it's something much bigger. Like I've just seen a lot of metaverses be lame. So the metaverses that we have right now, Sandbox, kind of lame. Decentraland, kind of lame. So it's like people are like, when VeVeVerse? And I'm like, Okay. We don't need the VeVeVerse for VeVe to do absolutely incredible things and for OMI to do absolutely incredible things. So I don't have any hopes pinned on it. Like if it comes out and it like partner with Disney and like Fortnite and you skins are interchangeable, that would be amazing. But I have zero hopes on it because it doesn't need that in order to do really well. So as an investor, it's like, why am I going to worry about this? Now, would that be huge if that comes together? Yes. Number one, this is speculation. I don't even know if that comes together or if that's even in the works. Nobody's told me anything on that. Secondly, like, does it need that to do really, really well? No, they have augmented reality of the highest IP out there. So like, that's all they need to do well. I mean, one of the comments here from Abe is like, Jay, I'd love for you to cover what the catalyst for OMI to be 100x would be. And what would Pokemon do the token? But like what the catalyst is that as people wake up to crypto, they latch onto certain things that are relatable. So one of the projects I invested in a while back, it was 2020, was NBA Top Shots. Now, essentially, they were just like basketball cards, digital basketball cards that had video instead of like a still shot of it. But I thought, gosh, basketball cards have done really well. This idea of digital collectibles will do really well. And it's basketball. So like cool, like top stars like LeBron James makes sense to me that LeBron James will do well. So I bought a LeBron James moment. And I got another one from a pack and I put about $1,100 into their packs. And the value went to about $187,000 over the next 6 to 9 months. And all the catalyst was that crypto started to go crazy. And people were like, these basketball moments are crypto. This is so cool. And then the celebrities started showing off their basketball moments that they had. And it went viral with almost no marketing from NBA Top Shots at all. They did run commercials for like a week, but they had so much demand, it like flooded their servers. They stopped running in commercials and it still grew like crazy. And my investment went from $1,100 to $187,000 with almost no marketing from the company because the idea of digital collectibles is big. VeVe has Disney, Marvel, digital versions of the Marvel comics, which I think is a really big deal. Most people don't get it. And as people start to wake up to crypto and this other thing, the catalyst is people are like, oh, crypto's so cool. Marvel Comics online. Oh my gosh. This is the best thing ever. Oh my gosh, they got Thor and they got this and they got that. Ooh, look, I can put it in augmented reality. Then they start doing TikTok videos and showing all their effing friends. And it goes absolutely crazy. It's the kind of thing that builds its own momentum. Like it's perfectly set up for that it can do exactly what NBA Top Shots did. In fact, it did do that. And those of us who were early collectors in the VeVe stuff, like it went absolutely crazy on us. And then in the bear market, it pulled back. This time with social media and how good the augmented reality has got, like it's set up even better for this one to do well. People are like, yeah, but it's been doing terrible. Well, the same company that created NBA Top Shots created NFL All Day and UFC Strike, but they created it in the bear market, and those have done nothing yet. Why? Because you're waiting for this catalyst of, oh my gosh, what's this crypto stuff all about? And then you have new people coming in with new money. And as new people come in with new money, you will be astounded at what VeVe does, and by extension, then OMI. That's how it plays out. Yeah, Doctor of Stuff in the house. We miss you already, Doc. All
Randy,
right.
are you speaking?
We
can't hear you.
We're not catching your audio. Still not catching your audio.
Yeah, it must be StreamYard because it's you two.
It's whoever was like doing the DDoS attacks on like Twitter and the like Elon Musk, Donald Trump. They must have turned all those servers to DDoS attacking this show because, of course, obviously they would want to shut this down.
You do look awfully official there in your intro. You reminded me of like Alex Trebek, younger.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that.
I mean, I don't mean like looks like him, but behind the podium, you know what I mean? Like in the suit with your background.
Oh,
it looks like
Alex Trebek is a effing legend. That guy is cool as hell. Yeah.
But your background reminded me. I'm like, are we going to Jeopardy or are we having a webcast today?
Yeah.
But it looked good. Randy, are you back? No.
We got some movement from you, Randy.
Yeah, sorry about. Can you guys hear
Oh,
me
we
now?
got audio too.
All right, cool beans. So going back to Abe's question about Pokemon, back in the day, a year or two ago, even like earlier this year, I would have said Pokemon would be like a coin flip 50-50. And now I'm more of the opinion that it's probably 60-40 that we get it. And that was up until, I think, 2 weeks ago, when an article came out where, if anyone knows Nintendo, like half my arm is Nintendo, is that every 4 years, which goes in line with the Shakira songs, she would make a video and a song about the Olympics, the same way Nintendo would come out with a Mario and Sonic Olympic Games game. And they would come out every 4 years, just like clockwork. That's something we were always able to expect, something that was always delivered. It was, could tune our watches to it. But the reason that they, at least the official reason, that they said there's no new Sonic and Mario Olympic Games this year is because they want to go and explore blockchain and they want to explore NFTs. So the fact that Pokemon, or the fact that Nintendo, which happens to be a 33% owner in Pokemon, said that they wanted to explore NFTs, I think that's really bullish. And what would be the best way for them to do that? I think it would be VeVe, but anyone else wants to comment on that, I think they can, just to get ideas. But that makes me bump it up to about 65-ish% that we might have it. Because if they're going to do it, the most logical place would be with VeVe. I mean, if anyone's ever seen even DraftKings that had gone out recently, and Recreate, all these other places that had gone
May
under.
they rest in peace.
RIP. I think that VeVe is the most logical choice. I don't think Nintendo would risk it doing themselves. They have no problem licensing out their IP. Only if there are leaks, that's when they tend to, pull back on that. So I'd say 65, maybe even 69%. I want to comment nice down below with the 69. What it would do for the token, I don't know. Heck, that it could double overnight, and then it could go back down. We don't know, but initial reaction, I think it could double because the volume's so low down here. There's so low liquidity. It wouldn't take that much for it to double. That's just kind of my opinion.
Yeah. Will they try to do it on their own? I hope not. VeVe does make sense. Like, most of the competitors are really, really struggling. VeVe is the only one that really has a really strong case to be made. In fact, like, Marvel's really happy with the deal. And so if Pokemon's going to just license it out, I think VeVe's the place that they do it. Interesting about Nintendo, right? It'd be interesting to see what Nintendo's going to do and how they do that. They have some major IP with Super Mario Brothers and all kinds of IP. That's huge.
Heck yeah.
Nintendo would be great.
I would lose my mind. I feel like every time I say that, like this past weekend, I was watching Lindsey Sterling in concert, who will be performing at some point for the Gold and Silver Logo peeps, probably early 2026. It'll be a while, but she will do that. She had been teasing that, like, hey, Gloria Gaynor, the one who was able to sing, like, I Will Survive, that's like her famous song. Like, hey, I'll be in New York City, you live in New Jersey, can you come in? I learned the song on violin. And I was like, oh, that's cool. She's trying to reach out, trying to get her to do that. I do that on Twitter sometimes as well. I do that on places. And then I was like, if she actually comes in, I'll lose my mind. And then she came in, and then she performed it in New York City, and I lost my goddamn. I was there with Omar Kasaja. He could tell you. I was like punching him. I was like grabbing his leg. And if Nintendo were to ever do that, if they were to come on, one, I don't know if they would lead with Pokemon. They might lead with one of their smaller. They might do like Ness with Earthbound. They might do Samus. They might do Captain Falcon. But if they do, I will lose my mind. You'll see a 24-hour stream from me. Hi, Bill Gardner. Yeah, one shy guy. I'll go crazy. You guys won't be able to contact me because I'll be on stream for 24 to 48 hours.
You know, they've positioned themselves really well that they have the best case for any of the IP out there. They continue to sell even during a devastating bear market when most brands can't hardly sell anything. And so they're doing a good job. Like, bear markets are rough on crypto companies. They are blessed that they got enough of a community from the 2021 run that they have enough momentum to carry them through and be able to sell some things even during this bear market. Most of the projects out there, that most of their competitors have absolutely been financially devastated the past 3 years.
You know, I'd like to say that one brand will do it for VeVe, but I don't think it will, honestly. I mean, you have so many great brands already. You have Marvel, you have Lambo, you have, you know, we have a ton of great brands already. I don't think one brand's going to do it and then it's going to be like, oh, here we go. I think, you know, going back to what we always say, the narrative has got to hit. And I don't think it's until the narrative hits and then it becomes more, you know, integrated more into the vernacular and people become more and more familiar with NFTs and blockchain technology, which I'm seeing a difference in. You're starting to see it in movies. You're starting to see it on TV. That's when I think the NFT, you know, the market, including VeVe, is really going to pump. You know, I think it would definitely do it some good to have Pokemon, but I don't think that's what's going to take, you know, OMI to 10x or 100x. I wish, but I don't. I think it's going to have to be the overall narrative for us to.
You're
really
right. A lot of times people throw their hopes on like one IP coming, right? And Blackpink was like a pretty big IP out of, you know, for a K-pop band, it's a really big IP. Cool. And it brought some exposure. But remember, like, most people don't really adopt things till there's multiple exposure points. They kind of just wait around and they wait to chase green candles. So while it seems like nothing's moving, even though they're kind of aware of VeVe and everything, they don't come in till it really starts moving. And that's just how masses move. Now, as an investor, you learn to understand how normal people think so that you can front run that. Because when you come in late, like the masses do, then you end up buying high. Oh, got some echo. Buying high, and then usually it's then selling low. And that's what so many people do in crypto is they buy high because they come in after like price have been going crazy. And then because of recency bias, they think, well, it has been going crazy, so it's going to continue going crazy. And it just doesn't play out that way. It reverses on them. And then they're upside down. And then they're mad at the project like it's the project's downfall. Sorry, you're just new and you're paying the price of being new at investing. And guess what? Every new investor goes through that learning curve, either because they learn through their own experience or they learn from somebody else's experience.
I think that this is like a powder keg, and every new license, every new sellout. I think even today they sold out. At least the first drop they sold out, which it wasn't a lot to sell out. I think it was like $11,000, $12,000. But each more adds a straw to that camel's back, and at some point that's going to break. At some point, the slingshot will have pulled so far back that it can't go anymore, and it'll go crazy. What that big catalyst is, I don't know, but I think one of the good things we talked about it on the OMI is My Homie show on Monday was brand loyalty. And, you know, what do you think about Animoca brands and Lamborghini? Because Lamborghini is with us, but they had signed with Animoca as well. And at first I didn't know how to feel about it, but thinking about it now and having a couple of daddy sodas here, get the juices flowing. And I think that that's a very good thing, because the grass is not always greener on the other side. You might be able to say like, okay, I'm a decent sized fish in this huge ocean that is VeVe of licenses. And I could be a bigger fish in this here over here with Animoca brands, with whoever else. But then I feel like a lot of licensors or people in general don't realize that, yes, VeVe can only cater so much time to you and so many drops to you just because there's so many other things. But here's where the audience is. And I think that as time goes on and people try to squeeze as much money as they can out of the entire NFT market by going from one place to another, they'll realize that there's not much else out there. And most of the money, most of everything is here in VeVe. And if anyone's ever had to be a reference or someone at work, or anyone's ever been a business owner, when you get an application, you check the references. Hey, what do you really think of this guy? And from business, like if I'm giving the reference as a business owner to another business owner, I'm going to be very honest. And I think that a lot of other companies will. If Rolls Royce reaches out to Lamborghini, or if they reach out to Aston Martin, like, hey, which is the best one? One, they could obviously speak for themselves, but if they go out, who's the easiest to work with, who's got the most hyped community, who's got the most money, the deepest pockets, probably going to be VeVe. So I think as time goes on, that's going to really help. But I don't know what that major catalyst will be. Like you said, probably the narrative.
Yeah, it's funny how the snowball has to hit enough momentum to really get enough momentum of its own. And I've been watching how this plays out closely. Like in 2021, I realized this idea of digital collectibles was coming together, and that there were some competitors coming in the space. You had VeVe, you had a few other ones that are not doing all that well, but coming in, and they had some licenses like Top Gun and like I think Jurassic Park or dinosaurs, or I know VeVe also got Jurassic Park, but hold on, got some echo going on from someone's mic. But there was other licenses and other companies coming in, and VeVe's really got enough traction, because what you're looking for is the platform that gets enough traction that it becomes the major player. So like a lot of people, when you look back at baseball card collectibles, what do people want? Well, they want like 1952 Topps. Now, Topps actually isn't like the first to produce baseball cards, but Topps got enough traction of getting enough of the baseball players that it's referenced a ton in the early years of collecting baseball cards. Now, there's some older stuff. There's some other makers that came in there. Topps really survived. Especially what's important now is that VeVe has the marketplace too. So what's cool about it is it becomes a one-stop shop for a conglomerate of all these different brands, that you can come in one place and have an account and buy all these different brands, and then you can like put them on the market and sell them or hold them. And so they're getting, that snowball is getting enough traction. It's going to be so hard for anyone to take their lead spot, and they are massively in the lead spot. For somebody to catch up, I just don't even know if it's possible, unless like Sony comes in and they just pump like 500 million into creating a competitor that's really good, and their timing would have to be just right to do it. And like Sony might be the only one big enough that isn't already affiliated enough with VeVe that they might do something like that. And I don't see them even working on it. So like, I think VeVe's going to crush everybody for all the right reasons, because the leadership's good. They're releasing a good product. They really do care about the community, even though I hear sometimes people say they're not doing things fast enough. Oh, they forgot about us. They didn't forget about us. This business stuff takes time. And a lot of what you're feeling, like I remember all the complaints about Amazon stock being in this same position. Oh my gosh, it's done nothing to go down. Oh my gosh, da, da, da. If they even turned a profit yet? Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. Amazon's never going to survive. Later became one of the biggest companies in the world. That didn't stop people for like 3 years just complaining. Oh my gosh, it's done nothing but go down. Well, actually, it went down after it pumped massively. And then what goes up really, really high usually does come back down. And that's what happened to Amazon stock. And Amazon ended up dominating in the space that they were in and expanding into some other spaces. VeVe's on track to be the major player in an idea of digital collectibles that hasn't hit mainstream yet, but I think it will. And that's why I'm so excited about VeVe. That's why OMI was my number 2 pick of all the things. And that confused some people. They're like, Rain, you say OMI's the only one that you would go all in on, but it wasn't your number 1 pick. And I was like, well, yeah, my number 1 pick has higher potential upside returns than OMI does. However, higher risk too. I would never, ever go all in on that number 1 pick. But what's rare is with OMI, like it has really good potential upside. And I feel like its downside risk of not coming together is so much lower than usual for something that has such a high potential upside. And that's what I look at as an investor. I'm just like, what are people doing selling OMI at these prices? Are they effing crazy? I've waited my whole life for the odds to be stacked in my favor. Like I see it stacked like this. There's no guarantee that it comes out, but it's like folding when you got like, yeah, I guess 4 aces could beat you. But like, you have a really good hand here with OMI. Oh my gosh, the price has just gone down. Yeah, it's not the blow off top of the bull market yet. So what? It's gone down. That means you can get it cheaper. Like, really, my exit point isn't, I don't pray every day that OMI goes 3x from here or 5x from here. I'm waiting for it to go 20 or 50 or 200x from here or higher. And that's when I start selling. So in the meantime, wouldn't you be happy if it got cheaper before it then got way more expensive? And some people will say, oh, that would be great, but how do you know it's going to go up? And it's like, well, okay. So is the digital collectibles narrative a big thing? Because I think it's going to be one of the biggest deals. Now, I was talking about blockchain gaming 4 years ago, and nobody in the effing world was talking about blockchain gaming. I said this idea of blockchain gaming is going to be huge. Back in 2019, you know, I was buying Axie Infinity, and my wife was laughing at me. Other people were laughing at me. Like, blockchain gaming, this idea is going to be huge. And sure enough, Axie Infinity, blockchain gaming went absolutely huge. I was not wrong on that narrative, even though nobody saw it back then. I was like, this idea of ownership in a video game is gigantic. Well, this idea of ownership of digital collectibles is massive too, and most people aren't seeing it. This thing is going to come together and happen. And cool, other people don't see it. Why do you think there's so much value in it? When do you think it's cheap? When everyone sees it or before anyone else sees it? But give me a good reason why this isn't going to happen, other than what if the NFT narrative doesn't happen this coming bull run? We're not talking about NFTs. Yes, NFTs are somewhat connected to digital collectibles. Explain to me why digital collectibles won't happen as everyone starts waking up to crypto. That, I have no idea why digital collectibles narrative wouldn't run in that environment. I would say the chances are extremely, extremely high.
Agreed. I think there's a missed opportunity with a lot of people right now. You have this one guy the other day. He's got 90,000 followers over on X. His name is Linkox, or 94,000. And he says, F crypto, I'm done. Can't deal with the emotional stress, constant anxiety and psychological trauma. Bye. And then I looked at, okay, what has he been posting about? What has he been burned on? And the last few posts before then was, I need a meme coin that has low market cap, active community, few but strong holders. And then he goes on, and his next post after that, like a day after that, was loudest meme coin community right now, below $10 million market cap. So he's looking for all the pumpamentals, and he's not looking for the fundamentals. And obviously that's what's going to get people burned a lot. I don't know how many tens of thousands of meme coins have been produced this quarter, but there has been tens of thousands.
Like 10,000 per month has been popping out.
Really?
People are like, oh, meme coins where the action is. Like, yeah, which one? Oh, yeah, such and such XYZ one did 1,000x. Okay, cool. Out of the 10,000 that came out this month, one of them did that. Oh, that's cool. What were your chances of getting in on that one?
No.
Like nothing. Your chances of getting in. What's that?
I said, are you guys exaggerating, or have there really been?
There's tens of thousands of meme coins that have been. Now, most of them are dead. Most of them are dead on arrival. They're DOA, but there's so many that come out every single day.
That's
so playing the meme coin game is worse odds than going to your local Indian-owned casino, which has bad odds. So do whatever you want. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I like to take odds where I feel like the odds are stacked in my favor over the timeline that I'm looking at. So I can't tell you if OMI is going to be higher or lower in the next month. I have no idea. I pray that it's even lower, but it might go higher. Now, what is it going to be from now until the blow off top of the bull run, which might be 3 months away? Maybe it's 18 months away. Slight chance it doesn't even happen, but likely in the next 3 to 18 months is when it happens. Well, my guess is it's going to be a hell of a lot higher. What would I guess the odds for my investment dollars? I'd give it like a 98% chance that the price is substantially higher from now to when that blow off top happens. Now, that's just my odds. You got to assess for yourself what you think the odds are. But if you're going to the casino, even in Vegas, which has better odds, what are your chances there? Not good. Meme coins, even worse. But hey, some people are like, that's where the action is, and they just have to go touch that hot stove just to find out, yes, it will burn you. And yes, you were sold a bill of goods that didn't deliver. And yes, you thought that, you know, you could pick the next Shiba Inu, and it didn't work out that way. Cool. Unfortunately, most people, the lesson they'll take away from that is crypto is bad. No, you're just bad because you're new. And that's okay to be new. Just realize when you are new, you're going to make dumb mistakes. And the smart people just learn from their mistakes. Now, the really smart people learn from other people's mistakes, so they don't have to make them. But I made plenty of my own. I wish I could say I was in the really smart crowd. No, I'm just in the smart crowd that I learned from my own mistakes.
That does bring me to another question here. We've all made mistakes. Mistakes have been made from all of us, whether it was buying, 300 alligator Lokis between the commons, ultra rares, and secret rares, or it has been buying a bunch of the lenticular cards when they first came out, or it was a myriad of other things. So, Lori, I think you have a much higher level than I'm at. I'm at level 63, and I think you're a bit higher. So this next question is for you. Up until like yesterday, the difference between a secret rare Spider-Man, like the OG, and the Spider-Man Noir was like $100. Now it's several $100 difference. Secret Rare Spider-Man's around 2,900, and the Spider-Man Noir is around 2,200. So, given the history, your experience, the money you have, the alpha you have, if they do run around the same rate in the next day or so, because that's how long it could take for them to be the same, what do you pick? Do you go with something that everybody knows that has a history, or do you go with something that's super scarce? Because as of right now, scarcity kind of rules on VeVe, but that could change. What do you go and you pick?
I'm going with the first. I'm going with the OG. Just because from a collector standpoint, anything you look back at, pretty much the first is what people want. They just do, that was the first. So I'm going with OG Spider-Man. I'm going to pick that, and that would be one of the last things that would actually come out of our portfolio, is the OG Spider-Man. Because I think in time, from a collectability standpoint, that thing has one hell of a chance. Being the first Marvel NFT, I'm going with that one. That's just me. Just trying to think of old school collecting, and what do you want? I want the first one. I want the original. But that's where I'm at. What about you? I feel like you're going to be different. I feel like you're a little bit younger, and you're thinking the youngins are coming up in age, and eventually they're going to have the money, and that's what they're going to want to buy. Am I right?
Well, the Spider-Man, and I remember having it was a Zoom call with me, Sleepin', and like a bunch of other people, and we were and Sleepin' like that's his name, like Sleepin' Comics, like and that's what he specializes in. But it's a specialty of a specialty. He's forgotten more about certain characters than I'll ever know, and I know a decent amount. And when Spider-Man came out, we were talking about all these superheroes, and because there were a lot of, I don't want to say normies, because they're all in VeVe and crypto, but there were a lot of people that they knew a decent amount of the characters from the movies and from random TV shows. Maybe they didn't read a ton of comics. And he's just like, well, yeah, but Thor's played by, Chris Hemsworth, and he's, super jacked. He's hot. He's Australian, got the accent. And then I remember Sleeping getting like triggers like, no, you don't understand. People go crazy for Spider-Man. People were having a debate about what the most popular superhero was. I was like, okay, all right, yeah. If that gets Sleeping to react like that, okay, OG Peter Parker, definitely the way to go. But and I'm pretty sure that over the course of the next 12 to 18 months, OG Spider-Man, OG Peter Parker will outperform that Spider-Man Noir. But I don't have the rest of those Peter Parkers. I don't have I don't collect all of the Spider-Man. I probably should, because they're really good investments, and they're fun to have. I love him myself. But I have most of the Marvel 90s. I'm missing like 3. And Spider-Man Noir is one of them. He's very niche. The only way that you have something that people might want is because it's like voiced by Nicolas Cage in one of the video games or animated series, or I think it's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. He's voiced by Nicolas Cage. and he'll they'll have more of that with him. But again, most people do not know about Spider-Man Noir, even if they're a Spider-Man fan. Everyone knows Peter Parker. Everyone in the world knows Spider-Man, like in the world, and that's very, very hard to do. So, yeah, it's my take. What about you, Rain?
I'm buying more OMI.
My man.
You know, on the collectibles, sometimes it's like really hard to tell. So yeah, I have 2 of the OG Spider-Man secret rares. Cool. And I bought them back actually when they first dropped, and I got none on the drop. So I bought one for 3,000. Then when it dropped more, I bought one for 2,100, and I just have sat on them. I did put one on the market for 96,000 gems, and it never quite sold. It ended up being the floor and didn't sell. So darn it, I missed a little window there that if I had just kept those gems to the side, I could have bought like, I don't know, like 30 more of them. That would have been cool. Spider-Man Secret Rare, I think it's a big deal. It was one of the first Marvel things, but not only that, was I think the first animated one where he could do like the flips and stuff, and that was incredible. But it's hard to tell with collectibles which ones are going to outperform. And I look for things that are low. One of the challenges with Spider-Man Noir is it's still got that recency bias that it just came out. And so it's still like this shiny object, like, oh my gosh, I didn't get one. So things kind of then settle down the road and usually go cheap. And there's some other shiny object that people are chasing. So really, now wouldn't be the time I'd be buying one, even if I was like set on getting one. And I'm not set on getting one. I'd be waiting till down the road when got some time and there's nobody's chasing things.
Yeah, I think the price might be a little inflated as well, because so many people were trying to hold on to that mighty set, or thinking they would actually be able to collect and maintain all the mighties. And then VeVe came along with this super low rarity and just smacked these believers in the face. And, part of me thinks, man, that was cruel. But, life is cruel, survival of the fittest kind of thing. So whoever has the most money, the victor go the spoils. But, so many people had this idea that they were going to collect all the mighties. And I think there were a lot of people that were just like,
yeah,
their dreams were crushed. I mean, it was like, no, bye dream. You're not going to be able to collect all the mighties. And I mean, it's rough, but it's life, right? I mean, like at first, like, man, that was prickish, right? To do to these poor collectors. And then I'm like, oh well, well, watch them all fight. Like when the popes used to throw coins at the hookers and make them all fight for it, like that's no offense to the Catholic people. But that's kind of how I feel with these mighties, making them smaller and smaller, and everyone's just like, whoever has the most money can keep the collection. Too bad for everybody else.
Doc joining in says OG Spider-Man, no doubt.
See a few of them. The Tammy Hannah saying hi. Beer Man, what's going on? Jason Pena, thank you for being a member. Wes says Noir will far surpass Spider-Man first appearance. Someone screenshot that, please. See if that comes to fruition. We'll see. Yeah, Disney's really good. Did you guys listen to the Disney's earnings call last week?
No.
They were just talking about IP in general, and it's like Bob Iger's answer for everything was like, we have the best IP, which was really cool. That was fun to see. And they're doing a whole bunch of new parks. They're doing a whole bunch of new everything. I can't help but think and wonder and imagine that maybe one day VeVe is somehow incorporated in those. Now that could just me being a moon boy having a wish list. But if I'm Disney and I see, let's say, like the Disney store in New York or Disney stores wherever, okay, you need to outfit them with people, you have to pay rent, you have to do whatever, and that might make a certain amount of money. But, and I know Disney has employees specifically for VeVe, but if you don't really have to, like, they're just making money hand over fist with all the secondary sales and all that, and they're making it you know, do that enough, do that over the course of, you know, the next 10 years, you're making a ton more. Do you think it's worth it for Disney to try to incorporate VeVe somehow in their parks, somehow in Disney Plus? Or is that just like, listen, Randy, they're making a nice amount here, but their bread and butter is at their parks. They don't want to take any gambles with that. What are your guys' thoughts?
I bet you Disney would absolutely love to buy VeVe, like all of it. I don't think that'd be for sale like that. David probably wouldn't make that deal. Maybe way down the road, maybe 10 years down the road he would. But I bet you Disney would love that, right? Because then they could own the store. Oh man, they're probably like, well, crap. Okay, cool. I guess we'll keep doing deals with them. But man, we'd love to own this thing, I'm sure is what's going through their brain.
What about you, Lori?
I think it would be a coup for them to figure out the technology and figure out how to integrate VeVe into their parks for different things. You know, just certain ride times, you know, off specials, scan your code here or get this. You know, I think if you get the right people in and you get the right people thinking about technology and how to use it, I'm even thinking, you know, like have your partner statue as your virtual tour guide. I mean, there's so many things that they could do with this technology. It will be a matter of if they'll use VeVe as the vehicle to that technology. That's what would be the cool part. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, that they'll be the vehicle for the new, you know, the next leap in park technology or, you know, whatever it is, coupons, discounts, you know, do this on this day, come to the park here, you know, skip the line, get one time. I'm really hoping to see that come to fruition, but I think that's going to take the Imagineers and the VeVe team. I think that's definitely going to take a little more time. That would be phenomenal. And that would definitely make the NFT prices go up and definitely make OMI exponentially grow, in my opinion. But will they do it? I mean, they put out a few years ago. Remember when they put out what they were exploring and NFTs in the parks? And I can't remember the name of it, but they had all those different points where they were kind of looking into it. And I believe they were looking into integrating into the parks. But
they are. They're definitely going to do that because they patented a lot of stuff. I hope that be VeVe NFTs, but if anyone's ever been to Harry Potter World in Orlando.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's so good, right? If you go between parks, you take platform 9 3/4 and you go on the Hogwarts Express, and there's a little video that plays, you know, while you're traveling there. So what Disney wants to do is in between parks, whether it's the, you know, around the globe, you know, at Epcot or it's wherever maybe they've yet to build it, but what they want to do is they want to have different videos, and then whatever NFT you have that you scan will correlate to whichever video that you can watch, which I think is really cool. And people will just be traveling those rides just to travel, just to see all those videos. It's like people that go and they say, oh, there's hidden Mickey Mouse ears and Mickey Mouse faces all over the parks, and see how many we can find. I think that would bring a fun element to it. Or I've mentioned before that there's a mall, it's still near me. It's called Broadway Mall. And they had a selfie store in it, and they had like 30 different backdrops. So you're in the city, you're on the moon, you see stars, you're in wherever, and you could take a selfie behind all these different backdrops. Wouldn't it be awesome if Disney hadn't gone on and they created something like a selfie spot specifically for your VeVe NFTs? Like if they have all these different lands, they have Star Wars land, they have a bunch of different places, and that'd be fun if they could have something and change it. Like Disney's very good at that. If they have like a hurricane, you know, they're in Disney World, they're down in Florida. I don't know how many workers they have, but down in Florida, if they have a hurricane, they will be open the next day and it will look like nothing happened there because they have hundreds of people going in and cleaning up. So I think it would be pretty easy for them to say like, hey, today is Pixar Day. We're going and we're advertising for Toy Story 5. Come and give all your Toy Story NFTs and take pictures here. Or we have a new Cars movie coming out. Put all your Cars NFTs here. Incredibles, you know, etc. I feel like I'm rambling on here, but that would be my hope maybe one day.
Yeah, there's lots of ways. Disney being so savvy, I talked about this years ago, them being so savvy, they could find ways to just create more income for themselves. So if you do something like, if you use your NFT, you get a free picture with whatever, and then they're right there to sell you the frame, for $30. So Disney's constantly finding ways to make money. I mean, even having, a much cheaper price for in-state people, that's on purpose because they want those people coming all the time, because they know even if you're paying way less per visit, when you go into the park, you're not just going to go into the park and eat your peanut butter and jelly crackers you shoved in your pockets. They know that you're going to eat, know that you're going to drink. They know that you're going to buy, Star Wars memorabilia and such. So, that they're in tune to making more money. It's just a matter of how are they going to find the way to make that money incorporating these, NFTs.
You just gave me a great idea.
There, they'll find it.
I will have the little airplane bottle alcohols of peanut butter whiskey, and I'll wash that down with the peanut butter crackers that come in like 6, the Keebler ones. So Disney is not only savvy, they're also savage. And this is going to be a positive that I'm going to spin here. But back in, I don't know how many years ago this was, a preschool or elementary school, one of the smaller schools, had said they wanted to post, they had like a kids day, like a field day, and they were going to have a screening of like The Lion King or a screening of Toy Story, whatever it was. And Disney sued them. They're like, the heck you will. And I don't know what eventually came of that. But the fact that they went after that, I was like, okay, that Disney's a little gangster there. But they've gotten really smart with it. And I don't know if this will hold up, but there was a tweet the other day. It was covered by the New York Post saying Disney wants. I had to go. Is that better? Can you see me now?
Disney wants.
Okay. So Disney wants an NYU doctor allergy death suit tossed because of the widower's Disney Plus subscription. Basically, Disney's trying to get a wrongful death lawsuit filed by a New York University doctor's grieving husband tossed because he signed up for Disney Plus streaming service years earlier. That's what the court papers had said. It is Kanakporn Tangusan's bereaved widower, Jeffrey Piccolo, is trying to sue the theme park, claiming that she suffered a fatal allergic reaction shortly after eating at a Disney Springs restaurant in Florida. Now, this is just a $50,000 lawsuit, so Disney probably should have just gone and paid it off. But the fact that they're saying like, oh, no, you can't do this, trying to set a precedent.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my internet, but if Disney gets this tossed, that sets a precedent that every single Disney Plus subscriber, where they make hundreds of millions of dollars a year, would never be able to sue Disney for anything that happens in the park because of their Disney Plus subscription. That is wild. Like the fact that, oh, I signed up for Disney Plus 5 years ago means that I cannot sue Disney is just a brilliant business strategy. And for me, anyone that Disney does business with, I was like, okay, they're clearly protected under that umbrella. Disney will go to war to make sure that them or the companies that they sponsor and do business with do not lose money. What do you guys think about that? Am I thinking about that in the wrong way? Should Disney be a little nicer, or is that just like, no, this is perfect?
I think you're thinking in the right way. I think they are savage, and that's why they're so successful. And that's how they maintain their success, by being ahead of the curve and being savage.
You have to be savage when you're that big, because then it becomes open season on you. Mm-hmm. So it's like if they settled that lawsuit, it's not the $50,000 there. It's the 70,000 other people who then sue them that sue them for bigger amounts because they set a precedent. So that's their worry, right? I mean, in the US and many other countries, lawfare is a real thing, and they just go after you and they just want you to settle, because how much it can cost you to defend against that $50,000 lawsuit? Sometimes $350,000. So they want you to just pay the 50,000, kind of like extorting you a little bit for cases that's like, okay, she went and ate at a restaurant. Like if they had put nuts in and she would order no nuts, maybe there's a case to be made there. But what if she just like, I don't know, wanted to blame them? And sometimes people do that. It's like, well, Disney has money and I want some of it. And something bad happened to me at their park, so it's their fault. And it's not usually the park's fault. Sometimes it is. I don't know the specifics of the case, but that's why they're so savage, because they have to be, because otherwise it becomes open hunting season on them, and then they're shutting their doors.
Yeah, I worked at a company that was known for settling a lot. Like the employees knew that. And there were a lot of cases that I just like went, really? But you know, it was people that wanted some money. They knew they were on their way out anyways. And you know what, I heard Bob making some racist joke and it offended me. And next thing you know, I had to go see my psychiatrist and da. And then pretty soon this company's here's $100,000, go away and leave us alone. And they got a lot of suits like that. Because they paid them. They always ended up paying them because of that reason Rain's talking about. Yeah, it may only be 100,000, but by the time you go through the lawyer's fees and then and all that, it's easier just to say, shut up, just hush money, go away, be quiet, sleep.
What company was that? Can I fill out a job application? Be like, I'm offended. There's this one dude, I don't know his name, but he was on Oprah, I think, and he did the interview and he was just like, I'll get a job at any major company because, you know, there's shop talk, there's guy talk, and they'll be talking about who they did this last weekend. They'll be talking inappropriate stuff. Be like, hey, I don't want to hear that. They'll make fun of him. They'll go to HR and he'll be like, hey, they did this and this. They'll continue to do it. This dude has never worked more than, I think, like 30 days like per year in his entire life because he keeps getting these like $50,000 lawsuits. And I was like, that's kind of brilliant, but oh my God, they're gonna do that to the wrong person one day, and they're gonna like get. You know.
What's interesting about somebody like that is I don't think you get ahead in life by taking where you're adding no value, right? So somebody who's going around doing that, what value are they adding to life? Like almost none. You could say, oh, they're helping keep the workplace clean. Are they really? They're just taking value in this life. So even though they have money, like if you were to look at their happiness level in life, they're living an unfulfilled life. So they probably think, oh, I'm so smart, I did this, look at this. But like their level of fulfillment is probably way down there. So it's like people going to that length, oh yeah, they're living, but are they? I would make the case that they're subsisting. Where we do live is when we find ways to add value to this world and then we make good money doing that. That's what living is.
Agreed. I think one of Elon Musk's principles for not only investing, but also to just generate wealth was say, is this something that I can do efficiently? Can I do something that costs X amount and then sell it for Y amount? And then that's how he went with it. Good idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you guys see David's post on Instagram about D23?
No.
It was today. He said, or I think it was yesterday. He says, Disney D23 was a success. Thank you to everyone who stopped by to say hi. We're excited for the next VeVe live activation. Now, when he says live activation, most likely he just means like where you can see them in person at New York Comic Con. You know, D23 maybe, or I'm sorry, DCon. But maybe that means something else. What else could live activation mean? If we brainstorm, what is that?
I wouldn't even think that would mean what you said it meant.
Oh, what do you think it means?
I don't know, but I've never heard anybody say, I can't wait till our next live activation. Like, who says that? Is that a Australian term or something?
One, I ran out of soda, so that was straight alcohol that I just drank.
Sorry.
And two, I don't know. That my interpretation was the live events, but activation. I don't know.
I've never heard it used. I don't know. Rain, have you ever heard anybody say,
No.
can't wait till our next live activation?
Yeah.
It is turning something on, or
Yeah.
right?
Uh,
Activation.
yeah. Speaking in riddles, that's one of his specialties. I'm not sure what he means by that. On the post, he just posted like him with the Simpsons, which is really cool. Which, by the way, we only have like 2 of the Simpsons. We have Bart and Homer. We don't have Marge. We don't have Lisa. We don't have Maggie. We don't have Apu. I freaking love Apu. I don't have anyone from there. We don't have Mo. Then he has the Disney parade over there walking. He has him with Deadpool and Wolverine, which I thought was really cool. Look at David with the X-23 claws. I love him so much. There's Bob Iger over there, that he's the D23 thing, but yeah, I don't know what this could all mean. I feel like Austin Powers saying, "What does it all mean, Basil?" I need someone to tell me. Maybe we should get on.
Well, maybe Valdo's suitcase is going to finally do something.
Maybe the Catwoman safe finally opened. There's so many of those old different those old things that we thought might do something, and they haven't yet. If you guys were CEO of VeVe for a day, what would you like? What would you make a CEO presidential signature to put on to make Catwoman safe open? Would you make it so that the briefcase opens? What do you make? What do you sign into law on the first day? Laura, you're on mute.
Am I still on mute?
No, you're unmuted now. You're good.
Okay. All right. I don't know what I did. I don't know, Randy. That's hard. It used to be so much easier back when we used to be filled with so much imagination and excitement. Jeez.
Nothing like a bear market to suck you dry for 3 years. But
it's hard. I still believe, but it does get hard a day in and day out to keep the faith. Some days I just pick up my phone and go, fuck this. I'm not. Then I look at my vault, and it was in like high 6 figures, mine and Will combined, like almost 7. And I look at it now, and I'm just like, oh fuck it. I'm not in the mood to be more depressed. And I just put it down. It's hard. I mean, even if you believe, it's still hard because you just get, you're tired. I remember the dreams though, Randy. The dreams. There were so many dreams.
So what's funny is that's exactly what
partner statue. Something with a partner statue with Disney would be what I would try to get to happen.
You right?
I don't know what though, but something with a partner statue would be my thing I would like to do.
Yeah.
What about you, Ray?
So few people make it because it is hard. Like, it's funny when everyone came in crypto, like this fresh wave. I came in the previous wave of 2017, but many people came in 2021. And it's like, yes, it's going to be endless blue skies for forever. And after 3 years of storms, they're like, I'm done. Oh my gosh, I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for blue skies and things going up just straight up all the time. It's like, that's not life. That's not how it happens. In fact, unfortunately, you came in when everything was going great because that's when everyone comes in, and then you learn it goes down too. And it goes down too for quite a long time before it then goes back up. And they just kind of learn those cycles. And like, what's cool is people that have made it till now, most of people have washed out, but there will still be some more people who wash out. You'll see. And then it will go absolutely crazy after the last few people have capitulated. And then it'll be blue skies again, and we'll get a new wave of people, and you'll try to talk some sense into them. Good luck. But they won't listen. They'll say, remember recency bias. It's a powerful thing. They come in, and it's done nothing but go up. In fact, they came in because their friend had made 50x on their investment or whatever, their Mickeys that they bought. And it's just going to go up for forever. And you'll try to explain to them it doesn't, and they will not listen to you. And then 2.5 years from now, 3 years from now, they'll be fudding like crazy. Oh my gosh, Queen VeVe, you're so dumb. You don't get it. Why do you still believe in this VeVe thing? And David, and okay, they have the VeVeVerse, and okay, you know, this big partnership with Marvel, and okay, you can use the skins in Fortnite, but what else, you know, or whatever the new thing is, right? And that's just
I still get that, right?
behavior.
I get that all the time.
Yeah, and so
Someone insulted me the other day, and his name was Pig Jizz, and the response back was,
Yes.
with a name like real, like how, I don't even need to say anything. Like seriously, Pig Jizz was coming at me.
I remember.
You remember that? That's like,
I
you're so
do.
dumb. I just ignore it now. But you got to get toughened up for that. You know, at first you start to take it personally, and now it's just now it's just funny.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't ever even debate with them at all, except I'm not debating with them. I'm debating for the people that are listening, because they get swayed. They don't know what to believe. And when somebody has a really strong opinion, which new people always do, they have such a strong opinion. No, dang it, you're wrong. I've been investing for 18 months and I know how this is going to go, and VeVe sucks and it's nothing but down all the time. It's like, oh gosh, yeah, 18 months. That's some incredible experience. Hard for me to argue with that. I've just been in for 25 years, but what do I know? Maybe I'm wrong this time. Yeah, I'm not arguing with them, because it's like arguing with a 2-year-old. Like,
Yeah,
they're not going to see your point. They don't have the experience to see your point. But you are arguing because there's some people that will believe the person who's brand new at what they're doing, who, you know, it's hard when the FUD is like real. It's the middle ground that I hate to see them get washed out by somebody who's very opinionated about something they are so wrong on, and they don't have the experience to know how wrong they are. That frustrates me. You know, people making their own decisions for themselves, great. But for whatever reason, people lose faith. Like, I was covering OMI earlier today in my video with Paul, and we went to CoinMarketCap. Boy, that's a fun adventure. Go to CoinMarketCap. In fact, I'll pull it up just for some fun here. And let's read the amazingly detailed, amazing breakdowns that people give on OMI and why OMI is a terrible project. I mean, let's listen to how articulate their arguments are here.
boy.
Okay, so far right, it says, OMI is absolutely the biggest poo in the entire crypto space. Slowest rug of all time. Randy Chavez is a expletive. And Shuhan Yu is a expletive. I have no idea who Shuhan Yu is.
I don't know who that is either.
But what they're really saying is, oh my gosh, OMI has gone down for 3 years and it's hurt my feelings and I don't understand this crypto.
Keep that screen on. I need a picture of this.
Yeah, right. And so let's look at the next one, right? By Crypto E. OMI, got to give credit when due. Been rugging since 2021 and still rugging and still got clowns, still think it's going to go IP. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
Somebody can go back and take some spelling.
Take some grammar. Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, so amazingly articulate case. They've been rugging since 2021.
That
just tells me
rug I've
the
ever seen.
level of sophistication of this crypto investor is about a 3rd grade level, because rug pull is specific when a project is pulling the rug out from under their people because they're on their way to closing their doors, and they like dump all their tokens to try to extract as much money out of it and then close their doors and then fail. Okay, so that's what rugging is. Now, a company failing is a totally different thing. And there's lots of projects out there failing that are in the digital collectible space. VeVe isn't one of them, but there are many of them. So he's not even right in that VeVe is failing here. Now, what he's really saying is, oh my gosh, the OMI token has gone down for 3 years and I've lost faith in it because XYZ person made money on a meme coin and I'm going to go chase that moon. And guess what? It's not going to go well for Crypto E. But he's got it, like, he thinks he's so certain he knows what he's talking about that he posted on CoinMarketCap where people like you and I can see it and be like, oh my gosh, this idiot. All right, he's just new. This is somebody who's probably been in crypto investing for 1-2 years. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, but he thinks he does. And he doesn't realize how new he is. He doesn't understand the bigger crypto cycles, and he doesn't understand cycle analysis. He's just new, and he's getting punished by just being wrong on so many things. Like, cool, OMI, got to give credit when it's due. Been rugging since 2021. Like, he took the time to write this in there, and still rugging it. Still got clowns. Still think it's going to go up. Okay, well, I'm one of those clowns that thinks that not only is it going to go up, it's going to go up massively. So if a year from now, if I'm wrong, Crypto Eat, reach out to me. I'll have you on as a guest on my channel. Would love it. Cool. But in a year from now, if it goes massively up from now, you're going to go in and you're going to retract what you said and said, I was just new. Don't listen to me. I don't know what the F I'm talking about yet. I'm just going to shut up for 3 or 4 years while I learn, and then you'll hear me talking again. That's what I'd like to hear from you.
That's great. I love those pictures. I love comedy. I think that's fun. You guys are, I think that goes back to the knowledge, like that quote, a little bit of knowledge is very dangerous, because you have these people that have just a taste of what is an entire freaking, like the world's largest pizza pie, and they have a taste of one small morsel, and then they think they know the whole thing, and they clearly don't. As far as me being, if I was CEO of VeVe for that, I would be a complete tyrant. Give me a sec here. I would completely wipe out their budget. I would go and say, like, okay, option 1 was what we're doing. Expensive marketing. We're going to pay Web3 influencers $50,000, $100,000 to promote. What they did last cycle, where they had Logan Paul, they had BitBoy, they had Crypto R Us. And I'm not saying we get all of those people again, but we get people like them. It would cost maybe $1 million, maybe $2 million, which I think they have. And if they don't, they could raise. Option 2, cheap option. Hire someone or give someone on the team a budget of about $5,000 per month. Go to each and every member of a meme token community and say, hey guys, we have $1,000 of your meme token. And if you download the VeVe app and buy one collectible, just one, just enough for them to, it could be $1. There's comics on there for like $1.08, $1.09. You can't go below $1, but you could have it for that much. And I would say, like, you can go in and get you could win $100, $500, or $1,000 of your meme coin, however much. Do that for every single meme token community out there, and look at hundreds of new accounts every single week. Whenever they have a new drop, I'd reach out to every single journalist that covered the character or license over the last 6 months. I'd go and say, like, hey, I see you've been covering this. Did you know that we're having a drop on VeVe? Have the journalists frame it in any way they want, because again, you have people that whenever we have something new for Sesame Street, you have the people that are, I'm going to save the expression, I'm going to save the name, but you have people that are interesting, say, oh God, they're making Cookie Monster NFTs. My life is meaningless now. Everything is worse in my life. And again, just, there's no such thing as bad press at that point. Like the magic of what Earth 2 is doing. They've delayed their metaverse for years now. And it's still not out, but they've launched their token. But the community is pumped, even though the token is down, because they release a teaser video of their engine rendering and their gameplay once a month, minimum. I'm not saying they have to show us the world of the VeVeVerse. I'm not saying they have to show us what the gameplay might be like. But show us little snippets. Show us little something, just 10-second clips of what it might be like, of a certain character, of just, even if they make a David Yu character. I'd have a referral program. Earth 2 had one of those amazing referral programs where you get 5%. Now, granted, they had their own IP, they didn't have to pay anything, so maybe you just have 1% and 2%. But if you have that, if somebody's putting in 1,000 gems and they spend it on the primary market, and you get 10% of that, again, multiply that by, you know, however many subscribers they have. Take it from America, take it from Europe, take it for people get everyone from every single language for countries that have rising GDP and they have different areas. You know, Walmart takes a loss on certain items in hopes that you'll shop around and put them into the black with other products. You know, don't do it with major licenses, obviously, but if you have something simple like VeVeIP, if you have just numbers or letters or whatever you have, do that. You don't own nobody owns letters, nobody owns numbers. So the fact that they could do that, I think that would be something super cheap that gets people in. or even give it to them for free if they sign up. They've held back thousands, if not tens of thousands of collectibles. Do that for the first 1,000 or 10,000 people, and then have something that they can get super cheap. But again, that's what I would do. But you know, I'm just a degen sitting here with some straight vodka. Let me know if any of those ideas resonate.
Are you talking to us
Sure.
or the audience?
I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for doing this. Part of the reason I started the YouTube channel back in the day was because I couldn't get enough people talking about it on. I was talking about Pokemon sales. Couldn't get enough people talking about it on E4, which is the channel for Pokemon cards. So I started the channel, and you know, there wasn't too many other people making Pokemon content, at least for Pokemon card sales back in 2019. But there's a lot of people coming in for VeVe. So just thanks for being here. This means a lot. So I'm not talking to myself all the time.
Well, you have good. I mean, there's some good ideas in there. It's just, are we ready for that? And is there enough to do to keep people in there? I mean, you hear Rain talk about Decentraland or, you know, some of the other. What is, you know, what's going to keep what's going to keep us engaged long term?
Be the change you want to see. If you don't see other people doing it, do it yourself. Like, be Thanos. I'll do it myself.
All right. I want to start the houses, you know that, where we all have different houses all over the world, and we can just like we Airbnb within our community. Like, we don't have to. That's what I want to do.
Lord, I love you so freaking much. Yes. I want to best friend the shit out of you guys. Yeah, let's do that.
You know what, Rain? You better watch. He's getting salty now, so he's drinking straight vodka. So
I mean, there's a bunch of things that are. I mean, the Trump organization launched a cryptocurrency initiative, and Eric Trump says it's related to digital real estate. So maybe we could all do this in the metaverse if we don't want to, you know, fly planes everywhere every other weekend.
I want to fly planes everywhere every
yeah,
other weekend.
I want
a private one that says Rain Enterprises or something.
I don't even need that.
I'm like 10 billion away from that, because I'm not gonna get something like that till like 10 billion. But
I'll take business class. I'm good. I don't need private jet. I'm good with business class, right?
I would like a private jet, but only when it's like, you know, so much money is like, I just got to have one for ease, right? Like, I don't want to wait at the airport. I don't want to go through TSA all the time, but only when like
there's you guys on a private jet.
What's that?
My whale's got a private jet. We'll take you guys on sometime. Even if it's just like a local trip, something super small. We'll do it.
Well, I wanted to address a point that came up in the chat, and like, it's not like I haven't addressed this before. I'm going to take one more shot at it because, like, don't waste everyone's breath. So let me share some history with this, and we've had this debate before, and it frustrates me a little bit. So if you look at this chart, what does this chart show? Oh, effing Solana is a shit coin, is what it shows. Effing Solana's done nothing but go down. Holy shit, this is a piece of shit coin. Why would anyone ever fucking buy Solana? It went from $250 down to $20, nothing but go down. And anyone who talked about Solana got their audience wrecked until it fucking went up. So I'm a little bit pissed by this stupid point that's like, oh my gosh, OMI's gone down even more than before. Just because it was cheap before and it got even cheaper, what you're missing is the timeline. Are we at the blow off top of the bull market? No. So has it gone more? Like, every good investment I made went down more before it went up. So when I bought Axie Infinity of January 2019, was I very happy 2 years later when it was worth even less than what I bought it at? No, I wasn't. Was it a bad investment? It was an effing amazing investment. However, if I had my YouTube channel and I was talking about Axie Infinity, and it's now January 2021, I could have people say, Rain, you don't effing know what you're talking about. You've been talking about Axie Infinity since January of 2019. It's done nothing but go down, and you've gotten all your audience wrecked. Well, anyone who bought cheap and sold cheaper got themselves wrecked. Why the F would they be selling it? Oh, because it's gone down? Cool. They made a decision to strategically get out at lows, and that is their decision to make. They're big boys and big girls. Did I make a decision to exit at lows? F no. I was way too stubborn. And there was some good chances that Axie Infinity would fail. And then it went way, way up, like, 500x from where it was, which was 100x over what I'd bought at, and I made amazing returns. So when you're looking at a snapshot of, 6 months later,
Right?
you piss me off when you make that argument, because we're not at the sell point. So anyone who's sold from 6 months ago till now, cool. They made their big boy decision to exit at a loss. Cool. Was it a smart decision? Well, I hope they rolled into something that went the other way, and maybe they did, but chances are they didn't, because most things have gotten cheaper during the time frame, and only a few things have gone up. Most likely they chased into something that was going high, and then it got reversed on them. But some people did okay, and that's a choice they want to make. Specifically, I hold on the time frame of buying low, and it often goes even lower on me. Guess what? My dollar cost average on OMI keeps getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Why? Because for 3 years it's gone down, and I keep dollar cost averaging. So is my dollar cost average point above what the current price is? Yes. Does that mean I've lost any money? I haven't lost a single penny. I haven't gotten myself wrecked or nothing. Why? Because I'm not selling at these prices. I'm just waiting till the blow off top happens and see if my thesis is correct, just like I did with Axie Infinity. Guess what? Cardano did the same thing on me. I was buying Cardano and just kept getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And it was frustrating, but then it went up. Cool. So anyone who says, OMI, like that comment really pissed me off earlier, because it's not like I haven't addressed this before. And it's like no new case is being made. So why the F are we children and have to address this? Like, can you not understand this argument? OMI's gotten in even cheaper. Cool. Some people thought it wouldn't go to triple zeros. It did. Cool. Anyone have an effing magic ball? I don't. So sometimes it gets even cheaper. I didn't have an opinion on whether it would go below triple zeros. It did. Now, anyone who sold in here has gotten themselves wrecked. This has been a continued buy zone for me and not a sell zone. Cool. Anyone who's bailed out on the project absolutely got themselves destroyed. Dumb move on their part, in my own opinion. I'm just waiting, because what goes down does eventually go up. Cool. Don't ask me that stupid question again. Don't bring up that stupid FUD again. It's been addressed. I will not address that question from you ever again. Cool.
Great. Rain throwing down the wall.
Gotten their VeVeVerse money back yet? Has anyone seen their VeVeVerse or their OMI back yet? I know we'll put in all our paperwork and such. Have we seen people getting it back yet?
One of my community got 10 million back. He is outside the US. And so he didn't, I don't know if he KYC'd or not. He had 10 million OMI, so he might've had to KYC, but he got his back.
Good. But yeah, we put in all the paperwork. We only had about 5 million in there, but you haven't, Rain, you haven't seen yours yet?
Right.
Right.
Sorry, I lost connection for a sec.
Oh, no, they're just asking, you haven't seen yours yet, right? You're still at 25%?
No, nothing. No, I check and it's like, hasn't come through. And when they went down, I was like, crap, what is the chance that we get this back? And unfortunately, the chance are really low, like almost none. So the fact that we're like, some people have gotten it back, like for me, that's a effing celebration. Even though I haven't gotten mine, some of my community members have got it back. I'm like, do you guys realize how unusual that is? When an exchange goes down with your funds on it, you're effed.
Yep.
Almost always. So it's like, count it as a blessing that you get some back. And I had a lot. Like I would buy some and then I'd move it off. And I had been accumulating a bunch and hadn't moved it off yet. And I feel like I got stuck with my, caught with my hand in the cookie jar of like, oh, I knew better, but I didn't move it off yet.
You might get it back though. We're hoping. We're hoping.
Yeah, right. And if we do, fantastic. And it looks like we will. It's just like, I don't want to get my hopes up.
Right.
Some people have, cool. I haven't, so.
We're still waiting.
So
Yep.
we've been going for almost an hour and a half. Before we get to final thoughts, before we bounce, should probably do some community shout outs, some community milestones. Yesterday, it was 1 year ago since Silicone Secure passed away. So everyone comment, "We love you, Silicone," down in the comments. Maybe we could all build a statue of him over in the VeVeVerse.
Silicon, not silicone.
Fair, yeah, good point. I'm a little tipsy and I had mispronounced that. My bad. Silicon, love him. And then we also have Lori Brenner's kid's birthday tomorrow. So shout out to Prince Toby. That is his name on Twitter, or as his name on YouTube that he always comments on. Oh, that's fun. And then we also have our very own Wen Lopez, which is speaking for the next cohort for Women of Web3 at the United Nations 79th Science Summit. So shout out to her. That was pretty cool. She's done a lot for VeVe, a lot for Women in Web3. Thought that was fun. What do you guys have for final thoughts? Or do you want to keep this going for the next couple hours? Because I will totally. Rain's not. Okay, no.
I got
Final
some
thoughts.
stuff to do.
It'll just divulge into debauchery, so I think we should probably wrap it up. But,
Oh,
I'm sorry, Randy. I'm sorry, Rain. It's your show. What am I saying? I have to wrap it up. You and Rain can go all night.
Oh, no, I'm going to be wrapping up too. I have some other things I need to do this evening, but I do want to say that overall, like the crypto space, there's a 4-year cycle, and every 4 years it goes massively up. Now, I take a very, I guess, an approach that I've seen most of the people that have made millions of dollars. This is how I've seen them make it, where I take projects that I like the team behind it, I like the narrative they're in, and I buy them when they're cheap. And I don't hardly trade those back and forth at all. I just hold them. And if they get cheaper, I usually accumulate more. Now, if they run up like 10x, sometimes I'll take profits and roll that into something else that I believe is still cheap. And sometimes I'll make small moves around like that, but only when something is up. And I just accumulate more on those projects I like. Now, not every single one of those projects succeed during taking that approach. And I use research to try to find the best odds of ones that might succeed, but you don't need every one of them to succeed. So my numbers look like this when I was still fairly new at this methodology. From 2019 through 2021 or 2018 through 2021, 65% of what I bought failed. Now, I tried meme coins back then. I had to touch that hot stove because I thought maybe there's something to it. 65% of what I bought failed, but the 35% that didn't fail took my portfolio 20x overall from what I'd invested. Now, unfortunately for me, it took my portfolio 100x from the bottom. So if I had had a magic crystal ball and I could have seen perfectly exactly where the bottom is and thrown all the dollars in right then, well, and just then still put 65% in the ones that failed, but I would have timed the bottom just perfectly right. It did 100x from the bottom. So I like this methodology, but part of the methodology is when projects that I like that fundamentally are sound, I accumulate more in. Cool. Now, I know a lot of people will jump out and they'll jump into this and trade this and, oh, it looks like they're ahead in the short term. I don't effing care about in the short term. Where is your portfolio when the massive blow off top run happens, right? And so that's the finish line. We're not at the finish line. We're not anywhere near the finish line. The finish line is when that blow off top happens, and then it's time to harvest the gains and set them to the side because you're crazy if you don't then do that. Cool. Those are my final thoughts.
what about you, Lori?
Well, my final thoughts are for those people who have been going through a long, bearish OMI cycle and a rough VeVe decline is to, keep your mental health in check. It's really easy to sit there and watch it and wait and try to read the graphs and listen to everybody and just keep getting your hopes up for today's the day, tomorrow's the day, whatever. For those people, I just say, you need to step back once in a while, put the phone down, maybe don't check it a day, go out with your family, remember what's really important, take some time for yourself and relax a little bit. I know that's easier said than done, but I know a lot of people are just really struggling with what seems like a really, really long time for things to come around. So if you're still here, you've made it this far, you know, take a break, relax, do something fun, but keep enjoying life regardless of how your portfolio looks right now.
I do tell a lot of my private audience that it's helpful if you you stop tracking your portfolio day to day, because like it does two things wrong for you. In the bear market, it just depresses you every day. In the bull market, it actually pumps you up with like adrenaline, and it will mess you up in other ways. Like you wake up every morning excited, but you will be pumped with adrenaline and you will not be able to take profits, because you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm up 50% today. No, I'm not going to take profits, because tomorrow I'm going to be up another 50%, and you will not be able to take profits from it. So like I decided like a couple of years ago that like I track some coins, but I do not have my portfolio numbers in there, and it has saved my sanity, right? Because I had days where my portfolio went up millions of dollars, and I had days where my portfolio went down millions of dollars, right? So it's just like, it's better not to look at that, because then you're like in your mind, you're so in your mind.
You're
and
down.
what's
You're,
funny
dead.
is
You're,
like,
dead. You're dead, even though you haven't cashed out, right? You're dead.
yeah,
If you're down 2 million, you're feeling dead. Yeah.
And you got to live life too, right? So just like don't follow it that closely. Specifically, it depends on what your time frame is. I will tell you, day trading in crypto, bad idea. 99% of people lose money day trading in crypto. I go over the longer time frames, because on the longer time frames, it's much easier to stack the odds in your favor. And so then I just wait, and I wait till literally the tokens I have, a whole bunch of crypto YouTube channels are talking about them a whole bunch. And that's actually my sell thing. And I might be following kind of what's going on. Like OMI, I obviously follow a lot because I'm on this channel a lot. And, you know, and we're talking about OMI stuff. But like if I were just tracking this regularly, I wouldn't even be following the token that much. Every couple of weeks, I'd check it until I hear Paul Barron talking about it again every day. And then I know that's probably a sell signal. Oh, Paul Barron's talking about it. Oh, OMI just crossed 10 cents. I probably should take some profits.
I love how he's the measuring stick for what not to do.
I know. It wouldn't be a show if
Paul
we didn't.
Barron is the new Jim Cramer. So I actually really like his channel because he does a lot of interviews. I just will never let him forget that he called OMI is dead, like at a bottom. And it's like, okay, well, like, oh, right as you took a deal from Animoca Brands. That's interesting. Cool. All right. Do what you want. I love your interviews. Keep doing the interviews, Paul. They're great. Probably stay away from calling OMI dead.
One of the things that I see, I'll try to relate it to this, see if I can. Yeah, I can. I see in the gym a lot, there's a lot of these, like, especially now it's summer, there's a lot of these like teenagers that come in and they're hyped up on pre-workout. And, you know, everyone that asks for a spot, or everyone that just says like, hey, like, what do you do? They can't lift really big. And they're just like, and if they can't lift big, they think that they're not doing anything. And it's like, okay, well, if you can't lift very big, then lift small and do it perfect. And it's very similar to what I see a lot of, you know, first-time investors or investors that don't have a lot of money. And they say like, well, Chavez, you seem to throw a lot of money into Flow, into Definity, into OMI. You want to throw like 6 figures into Essence. Like, I don't have that type of money. It's like, okay, if you can't make big, great investments, or big investments, make small, great investments. And this is not financial advice. None of what I say should mean anything to you guys. I'm not your guys' financial advisor. I just want to give me $100K and come into the fund. Before I said, you know, be the change you want to see in the world, but don't sit down and wait for opportunities to come. You have to get up and make them. You have to, like, a lot of people miss these opportunities because they're dressed in overalls and it looks like hard work, and it's like, oh, I'm too great for that. Like in San Diego Comic-Con, we had someone say like, oh, I don't eat that because I'm past that. You should never be past that. You should never be off the court. You should always want to be looking for the next challenge and looking to push yourself. And if you can go in and say, hey, you see these, like, everyone knows how to lose weight, right? Everyone knows how to get healthy. It's okay, you exercise, you do light cardio, you eat vegetables, eat like a lot of lean meats. But most people don't do that. Most people, like, they know how to do it, but they just don't. Most people know how to invest. Okay, look at companies that have maybe low market caps, but they have a good CEO, they have a product where they make something, where they're maybe disruptive, they're innovative, but most people just chase the meme coins. Like what Rain says, like most people don't buy low and sell high. They buy high and hope it goes higher. And it's just the wrong thing to do. Because most times you just buy high and then it crashes, and then that recency bias gets you, oh, it's been doing nothing but going down. You sell low. Just try to make sure you're doing the best that you can. And I know that sounds like such generic advice, but if you don't trust yourself, trust someone whose instincts that you trust better than your own. You know, the tough times never last, but tough people do. I've seen a lot of people that invested in OMI, you know, 1 to 2 years ago. That's like, yeah, I know what this is. I'm in it for the long haul, and they don't last 18 months. They have to go and sell it because they can't take it. And that's what you guys say. That's why most people don't make it in crypto. But if you can go and endure that storm, it's like Rocky says, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. It's easier for me to say this because I've been in this position before. I was in the stock market in 2020 when everything crashed down. And what did I do? Did I panic? It's like, oh God, I got to sell everything. No, I doubled down and I bought more. I bought a bunch of Fastly. I bought a bunch of Illumina. I bought a bunch of CRISPR. I bought a bunch of Tesla. And once I figured out which one was the best, it's like in crypto, okay, I'm in a bunch of different positions. And, you know, once I figure out which one's the best, I'll likely reallocate capital into that. I feel like I've gone on for really long here. That's just my 2 cents there.
It is funny how it works out that way. Like people they're new to this and they're learning how to be. Sorry, is there an echo again? They're learning how to be good at this, and learning how to be good at anything takes work and effort. And they've been in here for 3 years, and it's like, oh my gosh, XYZ project. I mean, we looked at CoinMarketCap and we looked at the comments on OMI. These are all new people. They're not in like learning, I'm trying to figure it out mode. They're already certain they know what's going on here, and they just don't. It's not what we don't know that hurts us the worst. It's what we think we know that we're so wrong on that hurts us the worst. And the crypto market is full of people like that. They're not here trying to learn because they already think they have it all figured out. They know, like, oh, meme coins is where the money is at. Oh yeah. Yeah, we all heard the story about XYZ person that bought XYZ meme coin and they did really good money on it. But yeah, the tens of thousands of people buying these tens of thousands of projects launching every month are absolutely getting wrecked. So like, that's not where the money is. About so-and-so bought Cardano at this price, or they bought Axie Infinity. Well, cool. Back when they bought those projects and they were cheap, what did the sentiment for Axie Infinity or Cardano look like? Oh, it looked like a whole ton of FUD, and everyone saying the project was dead and dying, and that it was a rug pull and an exit scam and XYZ. Okay, cool. Isn't that what we're seeing with OMI right now? Like the same kind of FUD. Like the parallels are amazing, and there's all these people that weren't around back then that tell me there are no parallels between Cardano and OMI. They're totally different projects. And it's like, duh, I get it. One's a layer 1 blockchain and the other one is a token related to digital collectibles. That's not where the parallel is. The parallel is the project's really strong. The team behind the project is really strong. There's no reason the project is going out of business in the coming 12 months or even 24 months. And the token is at all-time lows and you think it's time to sell. Cool. I'm taking the opposite approach and going long on it massively, and we'll see how it plays out. Then when it goes amazingly well, because the chances are really strong that it will, then people will be like, yeah, I would have bought OMI when it was cheap. And it was like, you know, there are some legends who did, and there are some people that they were new to this, but the analysis made sense and they made their own big boy decision and they bought more when it was cheap, even though it was effing scary. Oh, cool. And they did really well. Well, they learned a lesson. And all those people who sold, they also learned a lesson. And hopefully they're smart enough that they stick around. And they're like, crap, I end up selling, end up chasing into some meme coins, or I sold into this other project, which went up initially, but then OMI went up 50x and surpassed it. Well, crap. I still made gains, but I could have made more had I held on positions. And then they just learned some lessons. And over time, unfortunately, the reason why I'm pretty good at investing these days is because I have so many damn learning lessons and so many failures. And, you know, it's only truly a failure when you don't learn the lessons from it. Cool,
Agreed.
guys. I'm out. It's been fun, guys.
love you
Appreciate
guys.
everyone joining in, and the chat's been awesome. And Doc is still with us. Love these thoughts. Doc told me earlier to tell me how, you know, tell me how you really feel, Rain.
Trying to get
Right,
the
guys.
hearts to pump. I don't know how to do it. There should be an animation that comes from a heart, but